Origins.
Ooh. Oh, we're not chugging. Okay. Good.
Wait, we're chugging the beers now?
Yeah.
We're shocked.
I'm always down for a good shotgun.
Well, anyways, with that, hi, welcome. So we are the Board Vengers. I am Nelson, Fantasy and Some Flights. Today I have with me
Meg, and I am Professor Meg.
Roberto, Shear, Boardom.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're talking about our Origins recap. So this last, 5 years it's felt like?
Yeah.
5 days. 5 days we have been here in Columbus, Ohio at the Origins game fair and playing a lot of games, meeting a lot of people. And what we wanted to do is talk about that and then bring you our top 3 favorite games from Origins this year.
Yes.
That's what we're doing?
Yeah, you can go last.
First of all, big thank you to Origins. We're here with media badges. Thank you so much for having us out.
And also, before we get started in our favorite things, a couple things we can talk about. Our friends at 1985 Games ran a Call of Cthulhu game for us last night.
It was so much fun.
It felt like a team builder between Board Vengers and 1985 Games. It was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Justice did such a good job DMing. It's what I aspire to be as a DM.
He just turned it on and just jumped right into it.
Yeah, he'd get back into it and we'd go. And it was fantastic.
Magic.
It was magic. It really was.
Yeah.
And then the system was awesome. It was the first time I think any of us had played the Call of Cthulhu system, which was really great.
Yeah, it was really cool. And something that Justice brought up, which is a great point, is that in Call of Cthulhu, you're all just humans. So a lot of the ability checks you're making are things that you can describe, I just want to do this. And you'll do things like looking for hidden spots or listening, fast talking, things like that. So it's a lot easier to add more checks for things that aren't combat, which I felt like was a big difference from D&D. D&D, you're rolling a lot for combat, not so much for the role-playing part. For this, we were role-playing a lot and rolling for everything, which I liked.
Yeah. And then it was very deadly. We fell down a mine shaft. We spent about an hour trying to get down a ladder. It was classic RPG.
I took on some friendly fire. No big deal.
I do want to talk about the checks and how they're made, because again, first time I've ever done this, made my character, I just kind of sporadically threw attributes out or points out. And I decided last minute that I had a dog. I was a lone outlaw. I had a dog named Plantain. And for checks, you roll, and you actually have to get lower than whatever your highest number is.
So you roll percentile dice, so you'll roll a D10 and a percentile die with it, and if you have a 70 as your ability, you need to roll a 70 or below to pass.
And I had not put any stats into animal handling. So anytime I said, "Hey, Plantain is gonna sniff out a situation, or we're gonna have him track some stuff," my animal handling was a 5, which meant I had a low
5% chance.
5. That was it.
He had a smart dog.
Small percentage of chances to have this succeed at any given time. They found me out. I just had treats in my back pocket. I found this dog, and he just liked the treats in my back pocket. It was so ridiculous, but so much fun.
Yeah. Next time when we do it, I'm definitely going to reallocate some stats. I'm going to put less into library use.
Yeah.
or credit.
Be a library.
Oh, man. Oh, what else have we done? So we've gone around. I don't want to spoil any of our top 3 games right now, but Roberto and I took a miniatures painting class, which was really.
It was like a theory. It was like a theory class.
It was like a theory class.
Yeah. So you're not painting today, but you're gonna watch me do all these things, and we all listened intently because I've never painted anything, so it was great to have that as a foundation when I do decide to start painting, or maybe start painting. We could have a stream of us painting something. Yeah. Learned a lot there.
Yeah, it was run by Incredible Duff, who is an avid painter and a very prolific painter in the space, and so hearing him and just how chill he was, and just he felt like the Bob Ross of painting. It was just awesome. I'm just gonna just paint here, and it was
just a happy goblin.
Happy goblin. It was fantastic. So if there's ever a time where you could take a class from him, I highly recommend it because he is very knowledgeable in the subject.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of Brotherwise, and I got to run a tournament with Johnny O'Neill. I have been talking with him for like 2 years now, and it was my first time getting to meet him in person, and I got to go back to my professor roots and help run a tournament, so that was really fun too. Night of the Ninja, it was for Night of the Ninja, and that's a really fun game, especially to watch people learn it for the first time, because it was more for like new people. And it's really fun to see people screwing each other over. It's really, really fun to see them putting it together and seeing the different choices they can make and saying, oh, you're on my team and they're definitely not on ours. It's a really fun game, so it was a good tournament.
That's a great segue into with the screwing each other over. Blood.
That's what I wanted to
on
talk
the
about.
clock
Yeah.
tower. Oh my gosh, what a great game.
Yeah.
It was 19 people.
19 people playing Blood. It was wild, y'all.
Yeah, it was a lot of content creators, so we had a lot of people doing it with us.
There's a video.
Yep, there's a video about it on Quackalop's channel. We'll link it down below. And we did it mixed in with some other people that were just very knowledgeable about the game.
Which was very helpful.
And some newbies.
Yeah. Which was very helpful and probably detrimental that I was sitting next to someone who was very knowledgeable in the game. I was just asking him all the rules. I was like, I'm this person. What do I do? I was like, I feel like that gave away too much information.
How does this work?
But that was so much fun. Like the GM, I don't know what you call them.
Storyteller, I think.
Storyteller.
I think Storyteller.
Storyteller did a phenomenal
We'll go with it. Yeah,
job.
she did great.
She did a great job.
Great job.
She was able to contain the game of 19 people with so many new people playing, and a lot of us had a hard stop at 9. She was able to get us out. Like I huge praise to her.
Yeah, thank you to Emily. She ran a great game, which I think she's one of the official
I think so.
people for Blood on the Clock Tower. She was great.
No thank you to Devin, though. Words were thought and said by me. Still love you, though.
Still thought.
Devin had me fooled for he was the imp. Watch the video. Watch Jesse's video because you'll be able to see all of us playing.
Man.
But he pulled one over on all of us, for sure.
Yeah, can never trust again.
No.
Never. So I actually, just quickly, I was a traveler in this game, and I was a bureaucrat, and the bureaucrat is able to give out 3 votes to anyone secretly. No one knew, even though I was able to tell people their information. So I decided to give, at the very first round, Alex, Board Game Co. 3 votes. 3 votes, because I was going to oust Devin just for the heck of it. So I said, Devin, I heard you doing this and this and this. And it actually happened. There was some confusion, potentially, whatever it was. And no one raised their hand except for Alex, and I knew he was going to do it. That's why I let him have the 3 votes. It was so fun.
He tried.
Yeah.
Valiant effort.
Okay, so let's dive into the top 3 games of Origins 2022. And the way that we're going to do this is we have each come up with our favorite game, which has generated the top 3 games. So we said you were going to go last. So Meg, you're going to start us out. What was your favorite?
All right.
Yeah, you said what? Oh, that's what we're doing? And I said,
I knew I was doing that.
You can't go first.
You can't go
I'm
first.
not going to go.
Meg.
I'm not going to go. Meg, go first.
So my favorite game was a game that we actually got to play together in demo, and it is called Rove. Rove is a new game by a new publisher called Addix Games, ADDAX, and they are the ones that made Crimson Scales, which is a fan-made Gloomhaven expansion. They made an expansion just because they loved Gloomhaven. They made it at cost and started selling that, and now they're making their own game. And something that brought me in right away is they're using the same artist, Alexandra Leachev. So it looks absolutely beautiful, very reminiscent of Gloomhaven, but there are a lot of things that are different that I really, really enjoyed playing it. I love co-op. I love things that are story-based like that we didn't get to see too much of the story, but I'm excited now to see where this goes. I definitely want to play it. What did you guys think?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. I was blown away. I was skeptical at first, I'm not going to lie, because it is a heavier game than Gloomhaven. I think that there are more rules, but the way that they've incorporated those rules, they've really made it something special, I think. Just with my demo play, and I reserve, I'm not saying this, but I may say this in the future, I think it's mechanically a stronger game than Gloomhaven. I like the mechanics better. I think the action selection is more interesting, exciting, and
it's
rewarding.
more engaging.
And it's engaging. Yeah. It's more of a puzzle. And I really like that. I think that they are, it's the way that they did the monsters and the maps is a lot smarter and a lot easier to set up, which is a huge plus for me because I hate setting up Gloomhaven. I love playing it, but I hate setting it up. And so, but just a lot of the mechanics really flowed very well, and I think that it's going to be a mechanically stronger game than Gloomhaven.
And it was definitely inspired by Gloomhaven, and I think one of the points that I think is really good to know about it is that it's inspired by Gloomhaven with the campaign style and a lot of the progressiveness, but the actual gameplay is very different.
Yes.
And one of the major differences is if you know Gloomhaven, you have a hand of 10 cards, and that's also tied to almost your hit points. You can exhaust if you run out of cards, where it's like a management system. In this one, instead, you have 5 cards that are always available to you, but if you use the ability, it flips, so they're double-sided cards, and you're constantly changing the options you have to play off of each other. And I also really love that the cards give you a reaction ability. So you can react to different things when it's during the enemy's turns, which is something that gives me a little bit more of a D&D feel, and also, again, more engaging, and you're constantly doing things even during other turns, and it's not too heavy like Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
I love both, but this was a lot of fun.
It's my turn now.
Yeah, what do you think? I wanted to explain the card system.
Yeah,
It is really cool.
No, absolutely. That was probably one of my favorite mechanics within the game. Probably the best joke for me out of the entire weekend was made by Dan. I received the most complex character, and Dan says, "Yeah, Roberto, with all your Gloomhaven experience." So I have not really played Gloomhaven. I played it once, sold it. Jaws of the Lion, played it once. It's still sitting somewhere. Those games.
Boo.
They're not for me.
So did Rove feel better?
It felt so much better.
Good.
I was giving nothing but positive feedback to the designers, to the developers of this game. And I think for me, those dungeon crawlers, they all are dark. You know, I get into a weird mood when I see those dark and ominous colors like that color palette. But this was actually, it was Avatar inspired, Avatar-esque. I asked them if this was inspired by Avatar, and actually I don't remember the name of your character. Remember the name of your character?
I do not. It was the roguelike archer.
Okay. But it looked like it was inspired by the Avatar, and they absolutely said that. So it was this beautiful
People,
pastel
Nickelodeon.
colors. What?
Blue people.
Oh, yes, blue people.
Yeah.
The blue, not the last Airbender, the blue people. But beautiful pastel color schemes. It made me feel good. It made me want to play. And back to you with setup, it wasn't tedious with having to manage all these cards in hand, and there wasn't a lot happening as far as just components, really.
Oh, and something else is that your character card, it has innate abilities that you can use. And the coolest thing is in the leveling system, they explain that it's kind of like Pokemon, but you'll get like different cards where they actually kind of like become the next version of themselves. So if you know games like Fire Emblem, the video game, where you can, be a knight and then become like a dragon lance knight or something like that, you kind of become the better class of it, which I really like, as opposed to just hitting the top level.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was
Fantastic
a lot of fun.
game.
Yeah.
It's kickstarting in the fall, I believe.
Yes.
So we'll probably be talking more about that as it comes closer.
I will be shouting about it.
So, yes. So, I'm definitely going to back. So,
yeah.
definitely check it out. Okay. Roberto, sorry for not letting you go first. But what was your favorite game?
You said I was going to go last. You're going, okay.
True.
I know, but
all right,
I felt bad.
I
Are
know.
you ready?
I'm ready.
Have
it
a
locked
sip.
and loaded.
Yeah. Don't take mine.
Maybe I will. What if I want to?
I don't think you played mine.
I don't think I played yours either.
Okay.
Bandito?
Yeah. 100%. It's right here. It's on the mantle. It's the greatest game of all time, anyways.
Mine is Septima by Mindclash, published by Mindclash.
Oh, we're doing that now?
We're doing that now. We're going to hash this out. We're going to hash it out. Oh my gosh. First of all, I'm a Mindclash fanboy. I have their Big Bot Tricarian, Anachrony, Perseverance. I have the big boxes. I love those games so much. Septima is going to be the light, and it's a nice light introduction, I feel like, to those other games. Because yes, it's classic Mindclash, lots of icons. But, and I think this is where we're gonna differ here. In Septima, there's a track there's a track that tracks your turn order, if you will. But I'm gonna pause there because it's about witches. It's about witches. So the theme is really cool, being from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
With
I
Salem
appreciate that.
so close by to us. We are, oh my gosh, were we witches ourselves? Do you remember the role that we, okay.
Well, we were the leader of a covenant, and we had witches under our control.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Leader of the covenant. And they're witch hunters trying to find witches, trying to find us. While we're curing the sick or healing the sick by brewing potions. With what else I should have brushed up on that.
Well, they think I'll just disclaimer. I wasn't able to play this one with them. I wasn't with you guys when you did that. So I've been interested in Septima, and hearing both of your takes is really fun. But I do appreciate the theme. That's the only thing I really know is I think it sounds really cool. It caught my interest, but I didn't get to play.
It felt almost semi-co-op, even though it isn't. Within this game, you're playing cards. It's 4-5 rounds. And then in between, it's different seasons. But you pick a card, and you're able to play the top portion of the card. But if you match the card with somebody else, then you get a bottom port. You get the bottom benefit, which it raises your suspicion. So if there's a witch hunter within the area that you are, it's going to travel that much farther to try to get you. Yes.
Yeah. It felt very Concordia-like, where you're selecting actions from your hands, and then you're locked out of that action for the rest of the turn, but there is a card that's like copy an action in your discard pile. So the action selection system is really good, and I did like the matching and raising the suspicion. There's always a kind of, I forgot what it's called, I think it's like the mother or something like that, where she always has a randomized symbol that round, and you can always match with her to get the benefit, but it raises your suspicion by 2 instead of 1. And so it's a little bit riskier, but it is like this kind of, we'll look across the table, and it's like, Roberto's like, I'm going to do movement this time. It's like, I was going to brew potions, but I can move this time, and we can both get the benefit, and I'll brew potions, next round.
Yeah,
and
then, of course you can lie, too. You don't have to be telling the truth at all.
That's fun. I like that.
Yes. At the end of the 5 rounds. Okay, if the witch hunter catches you, they end up taking a witch from your coven, and they put her on trial for when the last round happens. And then you end up picking these meeples, whether it's your own meeple, your supporters, angry citizens.
Angry townsfolk, yeah.
And then just neutral townsfolk. And you pull them out, and the angry are -1. The white ones that are neutral are +1, and your own are +1.
White ones are 0.
Oh, white ones are 0?
Yeah, white ones are 0.
Okay, white ones are 0. And at the end of it all, if there's positive over negative, the witch lives, and then whoever has the most supporters on that track ends up being able to put the witch into their own coven. Now, your coven has 4 slots, 2 of which give you passive abilities or active abilities. I'm actually not sure, because we weren't able to get into that portion of that game, because honestly there was already a lot happening, so I wasn't able to get to that piece. But at the top, they're active, and at the bottom, those witches are not active.
Yeah. It was a really interesting game. They are still working on the mechanics, and so I'm going to preface whatever I talk about, because I wasn't in love with this game. I'll say that, but I'll preface that with they are still working on the mechanics. They're pushing to Kickstarter in Q3, Q4 this year. And they were very upfront with that we're still making tweaks and everything. But it felt like one round of playtesting away from being like polished to like really good, like something that I expect out of Mind Clash. It just, for some reason to me, it felt so tedious. Like every little thing felt tough, and if I didn't execute perfectly with my card, then I had to play my dupe card.
That's Mind Clash for you.
Yeah.
Have you not played Anachrony?
No, I haven't. And that's fine. But that was just kind of my thought with it, which in one hand makes it a harder first play, but it rewards multiple plays. Right? So there is that to kind of think about. But
And you guys played a full game?
We played one whole round.
Without a lot of the modules.
And there's a whole sideboard that you end up matching your card to, and you can move up this track that gives you other VP. We didn't play with that, but they asked us all about it, and honestly, we all said, yes at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's another really cool mechanic. I think personally for me, I will be playing this whole game, the whole experience, because you don't have to play with that sideboard because it does make it a little bit more difficult. But the core by itself, loved it. And I think because I love Mind Clash games, and this game having it be for me the probably the easier, again, like I had said before, the easier of the Mind Clash catalog, I like that it's going to be more accessible for people to get into Tricarian and get into Anachrony, get into Perseverance, because those are some heavy games.
How long do you think the gameplay is?
It took us with the learn and play. The teach was about half hour, and we played an hour because I think at the end, it was an hour and a half.
And we didn't play a full game.
Game.
Yeah. So I would say probably once you know what you're doing, 2 hour.
Yes.
2 to 3 hour.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be on my radar. I'm going to continue to watch. Like,
I
wasn't sold on it.
That's an instant back for me. That goes to Kickstarter next week.
I'll play his copy.
Yes. Yeah. Goes to Kickstarter next week. Check it out.
Next week, I say Q3, Q4. So sorry about that.
How about you?
So that brings
Nelson
to me. So I picked a game. I don't think either of you.
I thought you were gonna say I picked a few.
Yeah, I picked a few. I told them they could only pick one, but that means I get more time. So no. My game is Luna Rush by Dead Alive Games.
Didn't play that.
Me either. I really want to try it though.
So Dead Alive Games is the company that brought you Omnicorn Protocol, which is the tactical minis game where
that's what I was playing while he was playing that. Yeah.
Yeah. But Luna Rush is completely different. It's a Euro-style economic game that plays in about an hour, which I love all of those words together. Like, that string of words is kind of my happy place. But anyways, so I did a demo, and we didn't get to play a full game, but we did play through we played through the first round, and then we kind of set it up as if it was the last round and played through that. And so the premise of the game is the year is like 2050 or something. It's in the future. It doesn't matter the year. It's in the future.
2050. I was thinking 1950.
The year is 1950.
It's been a long weekend. You said the future. I was like, what?
You're wrong. You're so wrong. I'm still in the 1800s. It's last night. So it's in the future, and there's these new materials that have been discovered on the moon, Luna, and the object is you're a company that's trying to get up there to mine and process these materials to bring them back to Earth and then sell them.
I don't know if I like that.
Yeah?
If the game plays well, fine, but we're taking resources out of the moon? That sounds scary, doesn't it? Does it sound like the orbit could change or whatever?
Yeah, it's not that much.
We're gonna make the moon hollow. It's gonna be good. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the whole game is kind of there are these 3 routes up. So there's the quick route, there's the medium route, and the long route. So it's a 1, 2, or 3 turns to get to the moon to bring resources up, and then that's mirrored on the way down. So 1, 2, and 3 turns to come down. You only play 7 rounds in the game, so taking that 3 is significant. But if you take the longer route, you can carry more. And so now it's a puzzle on. I can take, 3 things. I'm making up numbers now. 3 things if I take it in 1 turn, or 10 things if I take it in 3 turns. But how can I sustain for the intermediate 2 turns? And so figuring that out, that puzzle, and then once you get to the moon, so you pull up resources, and then you have a personal tableau. That's like a worker placement. I think Dinosaur Island type thing where you're placing workers on your own thing to activate actions to mine these minerals, process them, create oxygen, so your people up on Luna can still be alive. Because if you kill people, you get minus 15 victory points.
We're in 2050, but we're not using drones?
No, it's still people. It's still people.
That's job security in 2050. Job security.
Exactly. And those actions can be upgraded twice. And so as you are moving up, you can spend resources that you're bringing from Earth to basically build better facilities so you can mine better, process more, hold more people. And then after that phase, there's a phase where you will send the processed material or people that you are going to die because of oxygen lacks, back down to Earth. And so very simple in the rule set, but very crunchy, very trying to figure out what you need to bring up, how quickly, how you can plan for those turns where you're not going to have that big payout, and then send it down. Whenever you send it down, you sell to the Earth market, so there are 4 resources, 2 process, 2 mined, and you sell, and that round, the price then gets modified based on whoever gets there first. So if you send quickly, you're not sending as much, but you're getting a higher price. You're getting $42 instead of, after you sell for 42, it drops to 40.
Yeah.
And then you start dropping that further, and every round, I think it increases, goes back up 1 or something like that. And so it's very much a planning, stock manipulation, everything that I am really excited about that plays in less than 3 hours, which is always a plus.
I really enjoy games like that are easy to grasp.
Yeah.
The rules are fine. These are the things you can do. And then the whole puzzle of putting it together is where you do the mental gymnastics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy the games like that.
Did you get the B-roll, though?
I did get the B-roll. I got the B-roll. We have been singing from the B-roll to the Game of Thrones intro all weekend, just walking around. And so if I ever forget to mute the B-roll, you're just gonna hear me in the back.
B-roll,
Shoot the
B-roll.
B-roll, shoot the B-roll. Oh, man.
I have a question for you
Yeah,
guys.
what's up?
Yeah.
Did you win the games that were your favorite games?
I didn't play any full games. I won in my heart.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not play a full game either.
Okay.
We beat Bandito 6 times in a row.
We did. That was insane.
That was insane.
Yeah, so I didn't get to play a full game. However,
You would have won.
the points came out in my favor, but I did get a lot of flack for prioritizing the money over human life, and a couple of my guys did die. And the designer's brother actually was giving me a hard time about that. So
I also got to try Cloudspire this weekend, and I cleaned house.
Nice.
It was beautiful. I really enjoyed it. Really loved that game. Maybe because I won so deftly, it was awesome, but it was a good time.
Nelson did get into the upper ranks of the designers of Jack.
Oh yeah, Jack. Journey Adventure Quest.
Thank you, because I
Yeah.
was not going to remember that.
JAQ, which is currently on Kickstarter. We did a media publisher speed networking event, which we talked about on our previous video on Wednesday, and that was at 3, and they pushed to Kickstarter at 1 p.m., 2 hours before the event.
Yeah.
So I was like, are you just
Wow.
consistently checking their phones? Yeah, pretty much. Strong. But yeah, that was
That was exciting.
yeah. We'll talk about that one
Down the road.
down the road.
We'll talk about that.
We'll tease it here.
Tune in next time.
Yeah, tune in next time. but yeah, so those were the top 3 games from the Board Vengers that were present at Origins.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't have more of us here, but I think we're going to have a little bit bigger of a cast at Gen Con coming up in 54 days.
Yeah, so if you have been thinking about going to conventions, there will be a lot of us at Gen Con. So if you've been considering going, Gen Con may be the place to go. I don't know if you still can, if there are still even...
I believe that there are still tickets. I don't know what the mix of those tickets are, if they're sold out of the 4-day, or if they just have Saturdays, or...
But whether you're going or considering going, there will be a lot of us there, so feel free to say hi to any of us if you see us around the show floor.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So thank you all for watching. Please like this video, subscribe for more content, for updates on Gen Con, and a couple of videos in between. So thank you all. It was great hanging out with you all this weekend.
Yes, absolutely.
And
loving we're together.
Yeah, it's so nice. It's so great.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
Happy
Bye,
gaming.
guys.